everyone, this is Stan, your favorite Polish Taiwan YouTuber. Hope you're all having a great day. Welcome to today's show. As Russia's aggression against Ukraine became more and more brutal, on March 18th, President Biden had a video conference with China's Xi Jinping and warned him not to support Russia. The Democrat administration showed its hopes that the CCP would condemn and sanction Russia, but neither Xi Jinping nor the CCP wanted to address President Biden's warnings. They even deliberately changed the Mandarin translation of what Biden said. If you look at Chinese news, you'll realize that the meeting's results are absolutely different from reality. And of course, the CCP used its propaganda machine to brainwash the Chinese citizens. The CCP just distorted everything what Biden said, and instead of talking about the war in Ukraine, their news reported that Biden is against Taiwan's independence. And then Xi Jinping made another useless remark. The peaceful world we used to live in is under threat. The Ukraine crisis is something that we don't want to see. Or this one, state-to-state relations cannot advance to the stage of confrontation, and conflicts and confrontations are not in the interest of anyone. Well, President Biden has been talking about Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but the CCP just used it as an opportunity to tell the world that they want to occupy Taiwan. On March 18th, the CCP's Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Zhao Lijian, during the press conference, showed the whole world his ability to talk trash. Since the beginning of the conflict in Ukraine, China has been committed to promoting peace negotiations. And also this one. As for humanitarian aid, China provided Ukraine with food, infant milk powder, sleeping bags, blankets, waterproof mats. As for the US, they handed over lethal weapons to Kiev. Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk just couldn't stand this nonsense coming from China and didn't want to show respect to those people who don't deserve it, such as the CCP. She said directly that China should stop supporting Russia, which is currently bombing civilians in Ukraine. She said, Ukraine doesn't need blankets and bedding, they need weapons to defend their land. What Ukraine also needs is safety for its people. That's why the sky over Ukraine should be closed. Vereshchuk also condemned the CCP government's remarks as not serious and not worthy of the status of a great and respectable country. She also suggested that the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs ask the opinion of 160 Chinese students whom Ukraine evacuated out of the Russian shelling. Well, you all can see what China's attitude is. And I hope that, after all, the democratic countries won't be turning a blind eye on China's arrogant and fraudulent behavior anymore. When Russia attacked Ukraine, China's behavior didn't change. They thought that they could keep on conducting their foreign policy the same way, by lying on the international stage and oppressing any dissent in their country or on the territories occupied by them. Same thing they did while committing genocide against Tibetans and Uyghurs, while oppressing Hong Kong, while concealing the CCP virus pandemic, and while committing their attacks on Taiwan's sovereignty. Sovereignty of a country that never belonged to them. Just take a look how much did the CCP gain during these years, and how neither China nor Russia were officially condemned for invading their neighbors. They both think they can keep on lying and robbing the world. Russia committed war crimes, but the CCP keeps on supporting them in the United Nations, for example when they abstain from voting for a resolution to condemn Russia's actions in Ukraine, or how they help Russia with spreading propaganda, or use social media to spread pro-Russian fake news. I think that the world is finally changing its attitude towards China and Russia. We're finally becoming aware of the appeasement policies of the past. But the CCP and Xi Jinping personally, or Russia's insane dictator Putin, didn't realize it. They just can't change their way of thinking. Or maybe it's the arrogance and empire-building ambitions that make them continue on invading their neighbors. In addition, neither Russia nor China didn't give up their expansionist policies. For example, look at what they do in Africa, Southeast Asia, or in the Middle East. They keep on supporting dictatorships, not the people of those countries, but only brutal dictators that rule, both economically and militarily, and also building alliances with autocracies all around the world. Professor Miles Yu, the principal China policy and planning advisor to former United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, the person responsible for revision of US-China policies, talked about the lessons of Ukraine in the phone interview with the Liberty Time. He mentioned one very important concept. There is no middle way in confronting an authoritarian regime. You can't have an uncertain position, and you can't put any hopes in China's communist regime. The CCP has an opportunistic attitude towards all the international treaties and obligations. China's regime is not a reliable partner on the international stage. I think that what Miles Yu said, it's not only a warning to the democratic countries, but it's also a warning to the CCP's regime. The world wouldn't believe in CCP's opportunistic fake neutrality anymore. I think many people are making a big mistake while talking about the war in Ukraine. People are afraid the US or the democratic countries will be involved in the so-called new global conflict or the World War III. I think that people who are talking things like that just fail to grasp the point. In reality, both the democratic and totalitarian countries have been interconnected for a long time already, but everyone just decided to turn a blind eye. The global war has started already. The CCP started this war against the whole democratic world a long time ago. Or, in other words, CCP's offensive started when they established the PRC and never stopped. It's not the question of being involved in this conflict. It's either joining the fight or losing to dictatorships. It's not a hybrid war or gray zone warfare anymore. It's a direct confrontation between freedom and subjugation, between democracies and dictatorships. Right now, the CCP is facing huge economic, social and military issues. They don't have less problems than democracies. And now, the CCP is actually gambling with their authority to rule, with their legitimacy. And they'd better just cut all ties with Russia and stop supporting them. Their fake neutrality on the surface doesn't seem to harm their interests, but strategically it's a very bad decision to keep on pretending to be neutral but in reality supporting Russia. This behavior only makes the democracies more united. The US and all the NATO members will only realize that the CCP is not a regime you can negotiate with. The CCP's fake neutrality is only accelerating the Third World War to reach its boiling point. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please press like, subscribe and share. This is Tian. I see you in the next one. Bye bye!